Star Control designers, Orig and Robert Frederick Ford have defended their decision to issue a DMCA takedown against Star Control, Origins, which resulted in the title being pulled from sale earlier this week. Origins developer Stardock has been engaged in a lengthy legal battle with Orig and Ford over the trademarks and copyrights to the Star Control franchise, and criticized the duo for choosing to bypass the legal system by issuing weak DMCA takedown notices to Steam and GOG. We attempted to get a preliminary art injunction to prevent them from issuing more false DMCA takedown notices. Unfortunately, the court ruled that it was not the court's place to intervene in the area of DMCA. Thus, here we are, wrote Stardock on the Steam forums. To my knowledge, never in the history of our industry has anyone attempted to use the DMCA system to take down a shipping game before. For those not familiar with copyright law, you cannot copyright ideas, individual or short phrases, concepts, mechanics, or game designs. With Stardock having set its piece, Orig and Ford have now shared their version of events, and reiterated their view that Star Control Origins is substantially similar to their work on Star Control 2nd. Starting from the top, the designers confirmed they agreed to refrain from serving DMCA notices while a judge looked at an injunction filed by Stardock, but that after the studio's motion was denied, they had every right to push forward with their DMCA takedown against Origins. As you might guess, we are going to continue defending our copyrights against what we feel and contend in the lawsuit is infringement by Stardock. So we served new DMCA notices late last week, commented Orig and Ford. Stardock CEO Brad Wardell has said repeatedly, you cannot copyright a word, which seems to mean that if you break down creative work into its component parts, those component parts are too trivial to be protected. Of course, that's crazy. Copyright protects original literary and artistic works that are simply specific combination of words, or images, or other content. The pair also emphasized the importance of understanding what Stardock actually purchased when it acquired the Star Control franchise in a Chase bankruptcy action. Indeed, CLAIMSTARDOCKONLY actually bought the registration to the trademark Star Control and the copyright to the original parts of Star Control 3. The bankruptcy paperwork was very specific that anything not listed was excluded, not Star Control. Star Control 2nd. The unreleased Star Control file packaging art, none of that was included in the action. They added. Getting to the nitty-gritty, the duo also claims Stardock received a copy of their 1998 contract with Star Control 3 developer Accolade, so it could understand the exact terms under which material had been licensed. That contract apparently did not grant any additional property to Stardock, but the studio now claims it holds all of Accolade's rights, and has also applied for tons of trademarks on the names of aliens Orig and Ford invented in Star Control and Star Control 2nd. What's more, Orig and Ford also assert that Star Control Origins has copied certain gameplay and design elements from Star Control 2nd, thus directly infringing upon their original work. Besides the evidence of infringement identified in our most recent filings with the court, let's compare the expression in a very limited part of the gameplay interstellar travel. One would presume that Stardock would make entirely new gameplay for Origins, or base it upon the original parts of SC3, they ought, referencing the comparison table pictured below. It's clear to us that Stardock chose to make origins substantially similar to Star Control Light idea of using the original material they purchased in Star Control 3. We do not claim to have a copyright on all interstellar travel, but we do have a copyright on a specific viewing expressed interstellar travel in Star Control 2. We've seen many such examples in Star Control Origins where its expression is substantially similar to a derivative of our copyright-protected work, without our permission. The most important thing I wanted to capture with the game was an unsettling feeling of things being off, says Mike McGonagall, developer of edutainment horror mixture, Bodies Basics in Education and Learning. I did not want to go flat-out horror. I just wanted to create a mishmash of different things that do not quite meld together right, but also do not seem ridiculously over the top and crazy. Bodies Basics begins innocuously enough, tasking players with finding notebooks and solving trivia questions within a crude, explorable 3D world. As players fill questions and wonder, though, the sense of unease permeates events and meetings, one created by the visuals being purposely made to look a little bit off, not unlike many past educational games the developer has seen played. McGonagall draws upon accidentally unsettling visual elements of old educational games to create a disturbing world, embodies basics, and in doing so creates unease from a general sense of something being wrong, and not so much from a frightening creature stalking the player. The game's budding antagonist is far from terrifying, but through the game's visual design, McGonagall harnesses unease to make the player feel dread, even if they cannot pinpoint a reason why they feel that fear. By making things look off, he can create fear before the player even knows what they should be scared of. By moving away from monsters and dark holes, and into places that simply do not feel right, the developer can also open up horror to people who might not find it tolerable, opening the genre up to new audiences. The main inspiration for Bodies Basics is pretty much Sonic's Schoolhouse. I never played it growing up, but when I first saw it, I was immediately creeped out by it, and that was pretty much where the idea came from, says McGonagall. Bodies Basics does not immediately strike fear into the player's heart. There's nothing especially frightening about the schoolhouse, the man who wants to help you with your audition. Similarly, most of the educational games that inspired the game are not exactly terrifying along their own, either, but through small visual elements that conflict with one another, they create a discomfort in the player. The Bodies Basics. This particular unease was created through McGonagall's experience and research into educational games and the many accidentally frightening elements within them. I do not believe there's any one game that scared me when I was little, but I do know there were plenty of different things in different games that gave me the creeps, says McGonagall. One thing that was common in a lot of edutainment games that always creeped me out was the sort of uncanny CG graphics they would use. It was pretty cheap looking, but not looking. The characters and animated stuff were also often 2D, which made the CG stuff look even more out of place. Mixing two visual styles was one way that some of these past educational games would accidentally create unease, mainly done through these conflicting, inconsistent art styles. By not sticking to any one particular look, it would dredge up this sense that something was wrong, even if it may only be the fact that the art style do not look right together at all. A shot of Back Interactive's 1996 Bigger Sonic as Schoolhouse A good example would be Reading Blaster Chamber. Most of the scenery was CG, and I specifically remember this one game, where you could collect these toys, and they always gave me the creeps. Hold on, now, I got to go look it up. Oh great, that's gonna haunt my dreams for a bit I think. He continues. Beyond the conflict between the two art styles, there is a crudeness to the visuals of the toys in Reading Blaster Chamber. In one minigame, there are animals and objects within the scene that are in 3D, with this contrasted against the animated characters, who also appear. The 2D animated characters move and shift their eyes, but the 3D animated ones stand utterly still, eyes moving and blinking. The juxtaposition of the two styles